Scene 1. A mysterious woman in black enters upstage. No, a seductive woman in red enters. She scans the room and seems rather disappointed with what she sees, but confidently takes the nearest seat to her. Remembering the crossword puzzle she had conveniently left in her purse, she decides she might as well wait.
It was clear that he was desperate. After climbing 54 flights of stairs, running most of the way, he feverishly fixed his tie, combed his fingers through his hair, and took a seat in the busy waiting room. He sat for a moment, hoping the burning sensation in his lungs would soon disappear. Checking his watch, he was relieved to see that he was still a few minutes early. He contemplated shutting his eyes to get a few more moments of rest, but then decided it was best to look busy.
He could not be prouder of his new find.
Vintage typewriters like this did not exist anymore. He knew that in the condition it was in, this new treasure could bring him a small fortune. He quickly sat down to begin testing the keys.
The salesman had said that everything was in working order. He would find out soon enough.
The man with the strange jacket sat behind his laptop computer. He never did have a good sense of fashion, and that was on full display today. He had sat at this table across from her for nearly 8 years. But he knew that today was different than any other day before. After nearly a year of drifting apart, he knew he couldn't do it anymore. In fact, he didn't even try. He was intent just to look busy.
Looking up, she was surprised to see that her date was sitting across from her. He looked exactly like his picture, although somewhat less than she had hoped. He broke the silence.
Hello there.
Hello.
Do you come here often?
First time.
Wow! Me too! You know, I think we're gonna be great together.
She promised herself she wouldn't walk out at another guy after just a few seconds. Half an hour. That was the deal she made with herself. She only had to make it through half an hour, which left only 29 more minutes. She had to bite her tongue to keep from saying what she really wanted to say right now. All she could come up with was,
Could you hold on for just a sec? I'm right in the middle of finishing this crossword.
Sure. What is another word for idiot?
Oh, and what did you say your name was?
Eddie.
He was getting frustrated. He had been sitting in this waiting room for nearly half an hour now. But he really needed this job. He had to have this interview. He pulled himself together and did what he knew he should have done some time ago.
Excuse me, sir?
Yes?
My name is Philip Townsend.
And what can I do for you?
I had an appointment half an hour ago.
You're late.
No. I was sitting right here. You told me that as soon as it was ready, you would call my name.
Well, have I called your name?
No, sir.
Then it's not your turn.
I just need to make sure that I can get this appointment today. I really need this job.
Don't we all? Take a seat. I'll call you when it's your turn.
Yes, sir.
Everything seemed to work just fine, except... Oh no! His worst suspicions were true. The Z key did not work. Yep, there was no doubt about it. It just looked like an upside-down 7. He was outraged. The nerve of some people. Well, he was not going to sit quietly. That was for sure.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Kingsbury.
One and the same? And what can I do for you?
It's more what you didn't do for me.
Excuse me? I don't follow.
I'm the man who bought your vintage typewriter.
Oh, Mr.
Yeah, but it doesn't work.
Well, of course it works.
The Z is more of an upside-down 7, Mr. Kingsbury.
Oh, so it works.
Upside-down 7 is a sorry substitution for a Z.
True, but it is a substitution.
Well, that's misrepresentation to say.
I said that all the keys work, and they do.
Well, I suppose, but...
But I do offer repair and restoration for a very reasonable price.
I'm not giving you another cent.
Well, if there is something wrong with it, you should probably think about having it repaired.
You told me it worked fine.
You sound busy. Why don't I call you back, and we can talk about it at another time?
There's nothing to discuss. I'm not giving you another cent, and that is that.
I'm sorry if my call upset you.
Well, it did, and I'm right in the middle of work, so please, do not call back. Good day, sir. No, wait, I called you.
Well, then what can I do for you?
We already did this.
So you're all taken care of.
No, fine. Fine. If that's how you want to play it, I'll see you in court.
No, that is not necessary. If you will hold on for just a moment, I'd be glad to take care of you.
No, that's more like it.
Your call is very important to us. Please hold.
Her laser-sharp eyes were fixed on him. He could feel it even through his computer screen. He looked up slowly to meet her gaze. He knew that they were more distant from each other than ever before, but that did little to dull the shock he felt at the sound of her words.
I want a divorce.
What?
Divorce. Can't do this anymore.
He opened his mouth to beg her to stay, but he couldn't find the words. What could he say? Just by looking at her, he knew she was already gone. She turned coldly and went back to her morning magazine.
"15 more minutes. 15 more minutes. That's all she could think when she heard him say, "Isn't that funny?"
Hilarious.
She had no idea what he had been talking about, but at this moment she knew two things. Whatever he had been talking about was not in the least bit funny, and secondly, it was her turn to move the conversation forward.
So, what do you do?
Oh, I'm a writer.
Really? I'm a writer too.
Did you say you're a writer?
Yes, sir.
Truth is, I'm a writer too.
Well, it makes sense you're a writer, seeing as you want that typewriter and all. I write too.
All you do is write. I feel like you don't even know I'm here anymore. So, what do you write about?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. Right now I'm working on a story about this guy who finds a vintage typewriter.
Wow. Sounds interesting.
What do you write about?
Well, I'm actually writing about this guy who's desperately trying to find a job.
Is that it? Is that the story?
Yeah. I find I have the most luck when I write beside my crossword puzzles. I think it's so that I never have a blank page looking back at me.
Oh, well, would you mind me reading what you have?
Now?
Oh, come on, just from one author to another. I love hearing people read their own work. It always has so much more conviction than if anybody else reads it.
Well,
Oh, come on, just the last part, the latest part.
Well, Philip, the main character, has been waiting in the waiting room for like 45 minutes. He's trying to get a job interview.
Okay, let's hear it.
The grumpy receptionist was typing with a sour expression on his face. In fact, he always seemed to have a sour expression.
That's funny.
With that, the receptionist pulled out some papers and loudly yelled,
Philip Townsend? Are any of you Philip Townsend?
I knew you seemed familiar. You're Philip.
Oh, who's he?
What are you doing here?
You know him?
I'm the author of this story.
What?
No, that's just my husband. Soon to be ex-husband.
You're married?
No. Well, yes. I don't know anymore.
Eddie, take a seat. I'm writing this story.
No, this is Philip. He's in my story and he needs to go. Grumpy receptionist called his name.
Grumpy?
I can't be in both your stories. I can't be in any story. I have my own story to write. Wait a minute. That's my typewriter.
Oh, I assure you, this is my typewriter. I bought it myself.
Well, who did you buy it from?
A rotten devil, Mr. Kingsbury.
Yes?
Can somebody please tell me what is going on here?
You're the characters in my story.
You're the characters in mine.
Well, I could say the same.
I'm the author here.
So, we're all writers.
And we're all characters.
But how can that be?
Seems that by some weird turn of events, we've all written each other into our stories.
So none of us are real.
All of us are real.
Are you quite sure? It seems to me that one of us is, let's say, the ultimate author. The rest of us are their creation?
So only one of us is real. The rest of us are only characters?
But which one of us is it?
Do we want to know?
Maybe we go on the way we were.
Writing our own stories, you mean?
Yes. The way we were.
But what if we aren't real?
Well, it seemed to make a difference before. Why can't we continue on?
The seductive woman continued reading her story.
Philip was glad to finally hear his name called. He had not waited in vain.
After 45 minutes of being on hold, he hung up the phone and decided to contact his lawyer.
The inevitable had happened. He would soon be a divorced man. He didn't know how to feel about it.
The seductive woman concluded her story. She put down her crossword puzzle and looked at Eddie for a reaction. Finally, he responded,
Cute.
This was hopeless.
As Philip rose to answer the receptionist, he excitedly inhaled a few Tic Tacs. Maybe too excited. Before he knew it, he was choking. Everything went black. Philip was dead.
Hey! You can't do that!
Yeah, we said we were just gonna mind our own business and write our own stories.
This is part of my story.
But he's one of your main characters. What are you gonna do now?
I might just have to kill some of the other characters, too.
Hey, don't go getting any crazy ideas. You're in my story, too. I didn't know you were gonna play dirty.
It was a joke. Where's your sense of humor?
Look, just rewrite the story. That's all there is to it.
Fine. Philip rose excitedly to answer the receptionist. He scampered to the desk. Hey, Philip. Get up, you're supposed to scamper.
She really killed him.
I did not. I told him to scamper.
After you killed him.
He was in my story too. What am I supposed to do now?
He is not dead. He's doing this to put us all on edge.
Why should we believe you?
Fine. Don't believe me. The grumpy receptionist ran to help Philip, but before he could...
Don't you dare!
The seductive woman put down her pen and pad. She was uninspired.
His wife suddenly picked up the knife and held it close to her throat.
Where did a knife come from? The seductive woman put down the knife that had found its way into her
He
hand.
picked up the knife once more and held it even closer to her throat. She needs to go.
No, we said we would write our own stories. This was not part of the plan.
The plan? She's going on a killing spree and you're worried about the plan?
Suddenly there was a loud thud and the receptionist's typewriter was out of commission.
She had had enough. She sliced the knife right across her throat.
It was a strange phenomenon, and yet he knew the typewriter would never work again.
You see what she did? She broke my typewriter. You should have let me kill her when I had the chance.
Hold on. No one is going to kill anyone. We just need to control ourselves before everything slips into chaos.
And as if their hearts were somehow connected,
Don't.
when the typewriter's pulse stopped,
What are you doing?
so did the receptionist.
You shouldn't have done that.
I know. I feel bad.
No, I mean, you've dug yourself an unfortunate hole.
Is that so?
You see, you're a character in my story, but I'm not one in yours.
So you have power over me, but I have none over you.
More or less, yes.
Right. So kill me.
What? No, I'm not going to.
And it's inevitable, isn't it?
I'm not going to kill you.
Oh, how valiant. You'd rather just keep me here as your puppet.
I'm not the one who went on a killing spree. We should just write new stories.
But we haven't finished this one yet. Aren't you the least bit curious?
About what?
About which one of us is real. One of us has ultimate power, and the other one is nothing but a figment of the imagination.
We aren't even sure if that.
Look, you think you're doing me a favor by not killing me? We're so close to uncovering this mystery, and you just want to ignore it? Start a new story? You think you're being the nice guy, but you're really just the coward that's too self-absorbed to care what anyone else wants.
You want me to kill you.
You said it yourself. You're the one with the power now, and one of us dying is the only way to find out who has the ultimate power. And what does the rest really matter?
Maybe it's not what we think it is.
Maybe it's not.
Maybe that's not the way it works.
Maybe it's not.
No. I not this way. I can't.
Then I'll do it. The woman took the knife and plunged it into her heart.
And she never woke up. Because she was just a character. Which leaves me, who's God, as it were. Boy, that's a lot of pressure. I really hoped it wouldn't turn out this way. Here I am. Guess I'd better get to work. A new story. Let's see. Scene 1. Scene 1. Why did it have to be me? Why couldn't it have been one of them? They seemed to have lots of ideas. I used to too, I guess, but if only I could think of some clever twist. Written by a one-act play. Characters: man with typewriter, desperate man, seductive woman, man in strange jacket. A script falls from the sky. In the last moments of the play, the man in the strange jacket goes to the script and scans it, landing on the last page. He makes a life-changing discovery and says, "What do I say?" I am just a character. Not even the main one at that. And I must live within the confines of that description. But as this character, I can also choose to be a writer with nearly limitless bounds. I must create and imagine all that I can until my story comes to an end.